Hello and benvenuto to Life's Questions and Lessons, the Self Reflection Podcast. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so excited that you are here with me today. Let's get started with today's question. What do you feel obligated to do in the evening? What do you feel obligated to do in the evening? So, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. If you have been with me over the last few years and you are a dedicated listener, welcome back. We are in full swing of our If You Could Design Your Life from Scratch, What Would It Look Like series. So, if it's been a while since you listened to the series intro, I highly recommend you definitely take a listen there, as well as if this is your first time listening, just to kind of ground you in some of the things I'm talking about, really the mindset more than anything. This podcast is all about questions, but it's super important to make sure you're in the right mindset to ask yourself these questions. So if you're feeling frustrated or if you're like running from thing to thing, no, ma'am, we're not doing that. You need to get your mind right, come back with full curiosity, creativity, and imagination because you are talking about designing your life. You want the full spectrum of your creativity and your passion and your vitality as you're asking yourself these questions. So, what we've really been doing over the past few months with this series is breaking down the elements of your life in moments. So, we started with the morning, went into the afternoon, and now we're into the evening. And just to give you a little preview, there is this next element that we're really going to delve into deeper, and it's all centered around obligation. So, as you think about, and even as you heard the word obligated, I really want you to take a moment and feel what happens in your body when you hear that word. What thoughts come to mind, right? What feelings are there? Is there any tension in your anywhere? Really, really feel into what that word does to you, right? And then come back around and look at what obligations you feel you have in the evening. I think it's really important for us as we are really understanding more about self reflection. I'm definitely here to teach and guide you. And no matter where you are on your self reflection journey, it's really important to understand just pausing and reflecting is a huge part of this work, right? Just pausing to ask yourself these questions. So, as I'm thinking about, what I feel obligated to do, be honest, I don't have anything I'm obligated to do anymore, right? I definitely feel like there was times, probably a few months ago, like I really wanted to make sure that I was spending time writing, and I was spending time like there was a few things in my ritual that just weren't serving me. So I'm I have a pretty full wind down routine, and I just felt like, you know what? I don't need to do all this. So I let go of some writing, some reading, mainly journaling, things like that, that just like you, I'm sure I've read somewhere that was like, successful people do this. And I'm like, you know what? I ain't doing that. I don't want to do that. So I really encourage you to just look at your schedule, look at the time that you have in the evening, and think about what you feel obligated to do. Feel into that. And then the second part would be, you know, is this really serving me? Now, some of the things that feel like obligations, you might actually have to do. But what I really encourage you to do is how can you reframe those things so they don't feel like obligations, right? So, those are the questions that I had on my heart today. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you are listening to my words. And if this episode was helpful for you, please share it. And until next time, take care.